it double Perasha?
No.
No, because
it's a leap year.
right, because it's a leap year, yeah, we'll divide the Perasha. We're going to see a few psukim, but basically we're going to focus on the Haftarah. Very interesting Haftarah. We never pay attention to this particular story. This week is Perashat Tazria. Look a second. Perek Yud Gimel Pasuk. Perek Yud Gimel Pasuk Gimel. It's page 610. So Perek Yud Gimel begin. A man discovers that he has a skin problem. He suspects that this skin problem is connected with the halachot of tzaraat. So there are 4 types of signs. This might be a tzaraat. Vehuva el Aaron HaKohen או אל אחד מבניו הכהנים. You realize that the pasuk vehuva el Aaron HaKohen או אל אחד מבניו. vehuva el HaKohen. We see later what the Rambam learns out from the word או אל אחד מבניו הכהנים. וראה הכהן את הנגע באור הבשר, and the Kohen is observing the damage. The person has to be basically standing in a certain position to allow the Kohen to have a full look on the nega. Okay. ושיער בנגע הפך לבן. Okay. And the Torah goes into the details. So look again at the end of Pasuk Gimel, וראה הוא הכהן וטימא אותו. Look at the very interesting Rashi.
Doesn't mean who's becoming tamei. Maybe the Kohen also is becoming tamei.
Of course, the Kohen can become tamei. Look a second at the Rashi. וטימא אותו, says Rashi, יאמר לו טמא אתה.
Is it Pasuk, Rabbi?
פסוק, פרק י' ג' פסוק ג' יאמר לו טמא אתה. Why? ששיער לבן סימן טומאה הוא, וזה רק הכתוב. So when the Kohen is observing this skin disease, it seems that the color of the hair changed. If you look at the Rashi in the beginning of פסוק ג' ושיער בנגע הפך לבן, מתחילה שחור, והפך ללבן. If you look at the left of the body as a young man, the hair of the color of the hair is black, changed white. Okay, mi'ut se'ar shnayim. So basically, this particular way to identify this particular siman is very easy. The rest, you have to be really an expert. Why is Rashi saying, יאמר לו טמא אתה? ששיער לבן סימן טומאה הוא. Every fellow that reads the Pesukim can become here the rabbi, yes? The Torah says, look at the skin disease, if you find 2 se'arot, it used to be, no, but Rashi tells us, only if the Kohen tells him you are tameh, only then he is becoming tameh. This theme goes through the parasha. Look a second, tet yud, nega tzarat ki tiyeh ba'adam ve'uva el HaKohen. Okay, and then other signs. Let's go to the Rambam. We're going to spend time in the Rambam, and a lot of time in a minute after you see the Rambam, you understand what we just said. Take the Rambam, please, Sefer Tahara, Yachot U'Matzara.
Seems to point the nega hafach le'lavan. Did the Kohen see it both times, black and white, or just saw the white? Who saw it change?
Hafach, no. The second time, it was not true. First time. Look a second, the Rambam Sefer Tahara. We never go to this. No one ever goes to this Rambam. I mean, to this book. ספר טהרה, הלכות טומאה צרת, פרק ט'. ספר טהרה, הלכות טומאה צרת, פרק ט'. Let's look first in the first halacha.
Page 82. Oh no, they give it.
Kufhat.
So, but you have a different edition. You and Akol mit tamin. Akol mit tamin. Everyone becomes. It's not mit tamin. Becomes tamin. Afilu katan ben yobo. It could be a baby 1 day old. V'ha'avadim, because the evidence halachot of a woman. Avalo akum velo gertusha. It's not Jewish. It might be a skin disease, but it's not tzara.
Women also do not become tzara then?
Women are becoming tzara the same as men. The Rambam says that Avadim are becoming, only are not going. Avadim is Evet Kanani, Mechuyah, Mitzvot Kisha, is like a woman. They are called Ksherim.
You want me to answer the dedication?
You want to do
I'm
it?
sorry about that. It's for Ronnie's.
My mother's Yotzar is tomorrow. 36 years ago, she passed away. Lu Nishmat, Pauline Bat Rahel.
ידעו נשמעת פולין עליכם. והכל כשרים, הכל כשרים לראות את הנגעים. In a minute you'll see what it means, הכל כשרים. וכל הנגעים, this is very famous. It's a Mishnah. In modern Hebrew, השם ישמרנו. וכל הנגעים אדם רואה אותם חוץ מנגעי עצמו. Which means a Kohen can identify by anyone, but your own, you cannot. So this is being used in modern Hebrew, in real life. This is the cancer of our society. I always see the nega by him. I never see it by me. Yes. No, but this is based on the Mishnah. You realize it's a phrase. כל הנגעים אדם רואה חוץ מנגעי עצמו. Okay, listen carefully to the Rambam. אף על פי שהכל כשרים לראות נגעים. Right? Listen carefully what he's saying. הכל כשרים means every real תלמיד חכם. can look. לראות הנגעים, but הטומאה והטהרה תלויה בכהן. The decision, if you are טמא או טהור, this is really the Rashi that we just read, even though it's obvious to everyone that if the two hair that are black in the rest of your body became white in the skin disease, it's tameh, only the Kohen can tell. Ketzah. Listen carefully what the Rambam is saying. Kohen she'eino yodea lirot. Eino yodea means he doesn't know the halachot. It's very complicated. Mishnayot negaim are very complicated. HaChacham roeh, he brings with him a Talmid Chacham amiti. ואומר לו, he gives him direction.
You go with the expert.
אמור tameh. Say tameh, והכהן אומר tameh, and it becomes tameh. אמור טהור, והכהן אומר טהור. הסגירו, sometimes you're not sure exactly what the color of the skin is, you need another week, so the Chacham tells the Kohen, הסגירו, והוא מסגירו. שנאמר, ועל פיהם יהיה כל ריב,
מה זה ריב?
The Rambam is quoting a pasuk from Perashat Tazria. When the Torah describes the power of the judges, which many of them are Kohanim, they are judges. Kol riv v'chol nega. Yes, the Rambam needs it, David, for the chol nega. Now here's a chidush nifla מאוד. ואפילו היה כהן קטן. The kid is 6 years old. He's playing. או שותה. How can you realize Shotem means it's patu from all the mitzvot? Here the Rambam is telling us what the power of this parasha is. The guy is literally not normal.
Yeah.
Not normal means he's not chayav b'shofar.
There's
But no doubt. But Ram tells him, hey, look at this. You have to look. Look. And say after me, tameh, tameh. החכם אומר לו, והוא מחליט. או פותר, פותר means tells him you're patu, you can go, or סוגר.
Hmm.
במה דברים אמורים כשהיה הכהן סומך על דברי החכם? Only if the Kohen knows, I know nothing about that. I'm relying on him. He's looking, I'm looking, I'm repeating what he said, yes? אבל אם היה הכהן רואה וסומך על עצמו, if the guy learned משניות מבוארות, or this type of summaries, yes? אסור לו לראות הנגע מכל הנגעים, don't look at it. עד שיורנו רבו, until your mentor was teaching you, ויהיה בקיא בכל הנגעים ובשמותיהם, בנגעי אדם כולם ובנגעי בגדים ובנגעי בתים. Your mentor has to teach you. There are 3 types in this week's parasha. One is skin diseases, one is in the hair, בגדים, and batim. Okay.
So that's if his mentor is present. Once he learns it all, he's
No,
an
when he
expert.
learns it, he's an
Then he
expert.
can do it on his own.
He's saying don't try based on, the example we saw before, the example, yes? Okay.
No, but is there ever such a thing like in the field of medicine? There's a misdiagnosis. They declare somebody and he
Good
really
question.
wasn't. Could that happen or no? Once the Kohen has that power, he has the
should
power.
have asked the question about Mashiach or about the Nakbalat. Look at the
That's-
next. Look at the next Rambam. The reason I'm saying
Oh, I
is
see.
the next line is your
Oh,
question.
that's-
Says
oh,
Rambam, Kohen שטימא את הטהור. Mistakenly, he says that a man that is טהור, טמא, או תיאר
I
את
didn't read
הטמא,
ahead just
לא עשה כלום, doesn't count. שנאמר טמא הוא וטימאו הכהן. טהור הוא וטיהרו הכהן. Yes? ומצורע. Now listen to this now. No, just remember, the Rambam is driving us strongly to get the point.
Area in Torah where
Correct.
his mouth becomes
Correct.
I'm sorry,
Look
what's the
like-
English of what you just read, if you don't mind? He says it's
It's
Tameh and it
exactly,
isn't.
and after 2
And
weeks,
what's the outcome?
meaningless.
sounds like he didn't say anything. He doesn't count.
If he's
Wait,
wrong,
what does he
we
mean?
don't take it.
What does that mean that he's wrong? That another Kohen overrode him, or that the nega went away? Or
Well,
what?
Talmid
How do we know?
No,
Totally made a
if it's
mistake.
Chacham told him, you're wrong.
And so then he would have to
Yeah,
come
that's
and make him tahor if you made him tameh.
He
Because
doesn't
the
have-
words.
You
No,
don't
the
have
words
to
that
make
count.
him tahor because you never became tamid.
You're telling me the Tamid Chacham comes after the Kohen says he's tameh and says he was
Normally
wrong?
the Talmid Chacham is there as you teach your
Right,
son
no, I
to
understand.
ride a bike.
So I'm trying to say
Let's
this.
say a guy that, I gave blood a month ago. So I like to make the guy feel good. How long are you doing this? That's 1 year. So I'm asking him, okay. I'm trying to say it looks good. I'm using it this is anyway, I'm telling him this is the hand I give many years.
Yeah.
This is the vein. I'm putting it out.
You know.
This guy is a year in the business, no?
Yeah.
He says to me, this vein looks to me good. Okay, I mean, he learned the lesson, but I didn't say anything.
You learned the lesson.
And
He
do it ahead of
sticks,
the
he
second
sticks
step.
it. After a few minutes,
Doesn't
he
happen.
brings his mentor there. So I
Wrong
see my
vein.
blood is still red. What's the problem? He said it doesn't flow strong enough.
Yeah.
After 10 minutes, it almost stopped. His mentor told him this is
Get
not
the
the
other
vein to take it. Yes. First time in my life, I gave the stop after 55%. And he said, okay.
No, but like you
Oh,
said,
did
he's meant to
they
him.
stick-
I
did they
think
stick
another
you again?
Kohen has to come.
Yeah,
I think another Kohen
Eli,
has to
otherwise-
come and say you're wrong.
Otherwise, how would you know?
The Tamid Chacham can't come and say you're wrong. I'm saying if the Kohen makes a mistake, I think another Kohen has to be the one to tell him you're wrong.
But if לכאורה, if the
If he's
If
if
the
it's
strength-
if it's dependent
strength
on
is
his
the biggest
dibur, if it's dependent on his dibur, then how? The only thing I can say is then the Tamid Chacham comes and says you're wrong, and then he comes, oh, you're right, I was wrong, and then he changes the verdict.
it makes a difference if he's accepting or not. If the Talmid Chacham tells him this is wrong, right?
It's void. It doesn't even
It's
happen.
retroactively, nothing. Look further.
But still, it's
the Kohen, look at what it says. ומצורע שנרפא בין מתוך הסגר בין מתוך החלט. This guy was sent out of the community for a few weeks.
Yeah.
אפילו אחר כמה שנים.
Wow.
Few years passed.
Wow.
As long as the Kohen didn't tell you tahor, you're still tamid.
right.
Same as a woman or a man. He didn't go to the mikveh, even though there are no physical signs that made him tameh. You have to go to the mikveh. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, fine. Then he goes into details. The Kohen has to have a
What kind of thing is this? That it's up to
perfect.
this Amaretz who happens to be born to the right family.
No, but
and-
it shows. No, it
No,
shows.
but he's supposed to have an
It
extra
shows
with
you
him.
the power of the tribe of the Kohanim.
Mhm.
Now look at the next halacha, halacha hey.
So no, there's only
Halal.
some-
Halal pasul v'reyat negaim. Halal.
Mhm.
The mother was a divorced woman,
Is that
married
right?
a Kohen. Now, do you think the Rambam should say? I don't think the Rambam has to tell me to.
No.
He's not a Kohen, he cannot go out for Birkat Kohanim. And the Rambam, he finds it necessary to bring a pasuk. The pasuk I pointed out before.
Of course, it says you're.
אל אהרון הכהן שנאמר אחד מבניו הכהנים בכהונתם.
Becky Hunata.
No, but the question is, David, why do I need a pasuk for that? Halal is not a Kohen.
Mhm. But he's still Zerak.
There's no time to go to it, but he's somehow from the family of Kohanim,
Mhm.
and the Rambam's opinion is that the same reason Halal did a service in Beit HaMikdash, we accept it. The Rambam says even if he would do it after he was to be identified,
Right,
Halal still
it's
the
good.
Diavad is good. So the Rambam wants to make sure we understand, but not for that. Yes, not for that.
Is it proper to say he's a Kohen, but he doesn't have the privileges and responsibilities
This
of a
is what
Kohen?
I would think. The answer is definitely not.
Oh,
You
so he's
cannot
not
do
a Kohen.
Birkat Kohanim and you cannot eat the Roman, you cannot offer a
But that's
Korban.
you do.
If
No.
you did a Korban, yes, pasuk, then the Korban is kasher. This is what the Rambam is
I
saying.
think the point is, yeah, we didn't know he's a halal till after he discovered. He said, "Oh, you're tameh." Then we find out he's a halal. The guy's not tameh. In other words,
No.
like the korban, not like the
Eli,
korban after
Eli,
the
okay,
fact.
now, when Eli-
But the pasuk says it because otherwise it would said Shenemar echad mi banav. We know that if he's banav, he's a kohen. So the
Yeah.
fact that he's saying he's a kohen tells you that it can't be a halal.
I want you to realize what Eli said. Eli said, so this, believe that, I will look over. If you remember 2 weeks ago we spoke, a Kohen that was found a halal. How about all the pidyon ben that he did in the last 20 years? Does he have,
Said.
right? So it's a machloket. The same question is here. Eli is asking now, what happened if he identified few people tahor and now we realize it? See, but the chokhmah is to realize, Eli, in order to become tameh, a real Kohen has to say tameh.
So as he said,
So even though he was wrong, but
No.
no one said tameh to the guy.
in other words, the Kohen said he's tameh. They find out he's a
Right,
halal. So
right,
now the guy
right,
retroactively,
right.
he's not.
This
He's
is the-
tahor. He's not tameh
So
really.
this is the question. The question is it the same with korban or not? I mean, I saw someone talks about it. Realize, let's say the Kohen, as Eli said, told someone tameh. He touched Truma yesterday. We didn't burn it yet. He found out that the Kohen is
He
halal.
had to burn it.
Should we say, do we have to burn it or not?
Right.
This is-
I guess
If
it's
you tell
we-
me he's pasul, but then it's nothing. It's hot air. What he said. He's a
I
nothing.
know, but the question is, since the
We have a
korbanot,
pasuk
since the
on the korban.
the korban
We
is
extend it to
kasher,
everything else.
we are accepting
I mean,
it.
b'diavad.
I'm telling you, it's a discussion in the Acharonim as far as Pidyon HaBen.
That's why.
Look further, אפילו אבל בעלי מומין, now the Rambam is giving you the
Oh,
opposite
oh,
side.
yeah.
Even though the Kohen is missing a limb and
And
he
he
cannot
can't do
do
the
any
avodah.
service,
He can't do avodah.
still he's a Kohen. Realize?
Wow.
This is why the Rambam is giving
There's
us the
distinctions. There's
the two.
distinctions. Shades of
אבל
gray.
בעלי מומים כשרים לראיית נגעים ובלבד, okay, as long it is not blind, because the Kohen has to
It
fight.
says bara'ah. How could he do it if he can't see? It says,
Okay.
So if a Kohen has a mum, can he do a pidyon?
Yes, it's a good question. Eli is asking Pidyon HaBen, the answer is the same. Right?
He's only
Because this is right.
Bet HaMikdash.
The Gavra is a Kohen, he has blemishes,
Right.
that he cannot do the Avodah.
And he can't do
Now-
kohanim. If we could see the blemishes.
Now listen carefully what the Rambam is saying. Okay, later the Rambam is saying that when the Kohen is looking on it, it cannot be in the broad daylight in the middle of the day because the sun can make it either brighter or so there are special times that you can look at the Rambam. The Rambam says look at the end of Vav. You see the end of Halacha Vav. Eimatai ro'im. Either the fourth or the fifth hour in the morning. And the David writes in Mishnah. Ubashminit. It's either later in the afternoon or earlier in the morning, not in the middle of the day. Fine. You cannot do it on Shabbat. Look now in Halacha Chet. Remember, modern people like to look at this parasha, next week's parasha, as contagious disease. It's a COVID. Says Rambam, I mean, what I'm saying now is in the Sefer of Rabbi Hoffman. Chatan shenira bo nega. Chatan is surrounded by hundreds of people coming to notnim lo kol shivat yemei hamishter. Yeah? For the 7 days that you celebrate, don't go to the Kohen. What do you mean don't go? If it's a contagious disease, the answer is it's a spiritual type of thing. Later, I'm going to show you something fascinating after that. Just a minute.
So even if the Hatan shake hands, a lot of people doesn't matter.
Correct. Here. וכן, אם נראה בבגדיו, if you see it on his garments, או בביתו, אין רואים אותו עד לאחר המשתה, you wait 7 days. וכן ברגל, this is scary. Tens of thousands of people in Yerushalayim, and you're there. You're among, I mean, this is
So
what
it's not
contagious diseases are about. You know? נותנים לו כל ימות הרגל, don't go to the Kohen, you're fine. What are you going to have fun? Have a disease? You don't have a disease. The disease has to be decided by a Kohen, then you're spiritually tameh. You're not affecting other people.
same thing like you told us, the furniture within the house. Take the furniture out,
Right,
and then the
right,
Kohen
right.
declares so the furniture is not
Right.
declared.
Okay, now, okay, so now you have
And the
I
same
mean,
furniture is 2 minutes later.
Meshech Chochmah, anybody talk about how come this Ma'am Haaretz Kohen who
no,
There's such
no,
power.
the answer is, Eli, David, this is what Kohen is. The Torah very clearly is telling you. Now I have to show you one more halacha, then we'll go to the Haftarah, and you'll see a very big question. Give me a second.
This stop. And the better Midrash was destroyed. This stop.
What?
This,
Right,
this, all this.
Right.
It ended when
It stopped also the same as the Ramban says by Sotah. Says
Right,
Sotah is not, it's the only time in the Torah that something a punishment not in a normal way happens. She drinks the water and she blows up and happens. Says the Ramban, this applied only with the Jewish people on a certain
level.
spiritual level. Even with the Beit HaMikdash, it was only stopped because what's the point? Even the first one, man. What's the point? What is the point? I mean, here, look now. Okay, look now to Perek Yud. Then we'll go to the Haftarah and have a big question. Look at Halacha Zayin. Perek Yud Halacha Zayin. So, David, the point we're making is very important. You see that the Torah somehow gave the
There's
Kohanim.
gotta be something much
Yeah.
deeper.
Yeah. No. Deeper means not in the Kohen. What Sarat is.
Rabbi,
Yeah, yes.
I wasn't clear before about the pidyon. If halal did a pidyon, is that a good pidyon?
It's a machloket between the current and 100, 200 years ago rabbis, yes. Look at the Halacha Zayin. דין המצורע שיהיה לו מושב לבדו חוץ לעיר. The Metzorah has to be isolated, not for health reasons, as a message. שנאמר מחוץ למחנה מושבו. In the mother, this is me just putting it into the Rishonim. I'm just telling you, Rabbi Kreisveld writes in one of his books, he was the chief rabbi of Antwerp when diamonds were really commodity. Yeah? He says he came to visit one of the wealthiest people in the community. The guy lived like in a mansion. The guy was sitting in his backyard, like one of the nicest parks. He says to the rabbi, look, this is already 5 years I invested. He never ever enjoyed it for a minute. Now that had a massive heart attack, and I could not go to work. This is what the Metzorah, you understand? In Yiddish, it says, Rabbi Jew, sit alone, look into yourself. It's time to look into yourself. Guys, we don't have time to look into ourselves. The isolation is,
You don't want
And
So it's
we are
not,
running away. What do you mean?
So
We
it's
are
not
running
literally-
away from ourselves all
That's
the
what I'm saying,
time.
yeah, you don't want to.
The Rambam later
not
says,
literally a punishment, it's like a rehab in a way.
the Rambam later says it openly. Yes, he,
He's not sitting with other mitzvah.
right. You cannot, he has to sit by himself. You cannot convert.
Not like you have a leper colony.
But that's what that.
Right.
Now look a second. Here's the next line, which is going to raise a big question on Haftarah. ודבר זה, this הלכה, העיירות המוקפות חומה לארץ ישראל בלבד. Only cities were walled cities at the time of Yeshua. You know, if you read it, you never know exactly what. See, David, this is also Pelagadol, yes? We understand that if I buy a house in a walled city, can I buy it after a year or not? Okay. What is this walled city? It is this the Mishnah, David, Mishnah. The halachot of Tzarat apply only, which means if you are not in a walled city, if your city is not walled, you can stay in the city. You have to go outside.
So right in with they in the walls, is that where you're gonna go with this?
Of course, I'm going to go. Before we could come with Manisha. Okay, so let's go to the after. It's another important Rambam here, but later.
So many wondrous things with this.
But David, the Chokhmah is to realize the real state of Israel, the real Jews are not regular nations. We are another nation. We are flag in the United Nations.
What I'm trying to teach us. He's trying to teach us something.
Right?
And why is this Kohen?
The Rambam is saying later at the end. The Rambam has many chapters. Let's just read one line before we. The Rambam goes at the end. He says here, "V'zeh hashinu ya'amu b'bgadim u'b'batim." The change that you see in the house. Eino min hagosh l'olam. This is not normal. Ot u'pele haya b'Yisrael. This is a message. Kedei la'aziram milashon hara. Finished. There was a certain stage in Jewish history that the people were ready to accept this message. What goes on in Israel now is the same. The Holocaust was the same. Every tragedy is the same. Anything that happens is the same. Here, people are on a certain level that they are willing to be isolated in this. Anyway, go now to the Haftarah.
It's 1170.
Oh, 1170, thank you. Remember, this is Perashat Tazria.
You don't read it that often.
Like,
Oh, wait, today you have your wife who tells you when you're doing something wrong.
remember, this is Tazria Metzorah. So Tazria is the story. And then look at the story. Look at the parak. ונעמן שר צבא מלך ארם היה איש גדול לפני אדוניו. Naaman is a very respected general. ונשאו פנים כי בו נתן השם תשועה לארם. ארם won big victory. והאיש היה גיבור חיל מצורע. We just saw in the Rambam that there is no מצורע by a boy. By him, this is a skin disease.
Yes, this is different.
By him, it's a physical skin disease.
Yeah, pure, it's different.
Okay. Before we continue, turn the page and look at next week's Haftarah. בארבעה אנשים, this is מלאכים פרק ז', and this is מלאכים ב', וארבעה אנשים היו מצורעים פתח השער, ויאמרו איש על רעהו, מה אנחנו יושבים פה עד מתי? There was באמת a big family, and 4 people. Who are the 4? Gehazi and the 3 children. Gehazi was the right-hand man of Elisha,
Right.
because this Haftarah next week is a continuation of this week. Yeah? After Naaman wants to reward Elisha for saving him from his tzarat, and Elisha says no. Elisha wanted the goy to realize that I'm not doing it for the money. Gehazi is chasing him and taking money. Yes? it doesn't say here, but when he came back and Isha cursed him, וצרה נעמן תדבק בך וזרעך.
Wow.
מה זה צרת נעמן?
Yeah, so wait, that
Not a
was,
spiritual
that
one.
was physical,
This is
not
the
the
point.
spiritual.
Where are they sitting, these four people?
You know, why
That's
they
why
They
together?
are
Yes.
sitting outside of the capital city of Achab, which is Shomron. Shomron is not a walled city, because if you know,
They said had to leave.
if you know the history of Melachim, Achab, it says in the text, was building the city. So why are they
Are they hanging out together?
together? See, before, here's the point. Why
It
are
must
they
be
together?
that it's leprosy.
So this is a
This is
different
the-
Torah.
This is the point. Says Rabbi Yonatan Abish is the fact that they are together, yes? And the fact that they are outside of the town, even though legally you're not a real Metzorah, shows us that this was a totally different type of
Lepers.
right.
Also, wasn't he supposed to be Mitzvah for life? Wasn't he the curse?
Right, yeah.
So there's no cure for him. There's no.
Right. So the reason why they're sitting outside is simply because this is
A leper colony.
a contagious disease, so you cannot deal with people. But the story that you learn from this afterlife is fascinating because this is what they say. They say, I'm coming back to Naaman in a second. They say we are dying from famine. Let's surround ourselves to Aram. If they give us food, good. If not, let them
We're
excuse
dying
us.
anyway.
What is he saying? Says the Gemara in Avodah Zarah that from this story you learn that Chayei Sha'ah doesn't count, which means when doctors say that this man is done, unless we operate, if we succeed, we'll give him 2, 3, 5 years. If not, he will die in a week. If you don't touch him, he has 2 months to live, 3 months to live.
Oh.
If we do,
It's risky.
consider he's dying. You learn from this Gemara that Chayei Sha'ah, what is he saying? You are dying from famine, yes? Let's fall into the hands of the enemy. Either they'll give us food or they'll kill us instantly.
They'd be hastening their demise by doing so.
You see from here that Chayei Sha'ah doesn't count. Every time people call rabbis to serious questions, it has to do with that.
Well, I'm not trying to understand the concept. So you're saying that they should
Take a chance or not? What's the
You're permitted to take a chance.
even though it may
even though it may shorten your
like
life.
a surgery may potentially not be
Remember,
successful and the patient could
Of course,
die.
it's a general
But the patient will
psach.
live
You
too
have
much
to
time.
call a real great rabbi be the doctor. The doctors have to be very serious and you need various opinions.
At what point do Chazal say sha'ah, 6 months?
If you want to learn 6 months, 6 hours a day, you come out of the psach halacha. This is day-to-day life or death questions that you have to. הדבר הכי חשוב זה to have the right doctor and to have the right rabbi.
You're
So
a rabbi
let's-
also, it's not just the doctor alone.
Anyway, the Naaman had a servitude, Jewish girl captured. She says to her wife, why is my master suffering? There is a prophet in Israel, he would cure him. Okay, so you know the story, he comes and the king is very, very frightened. Look a second on the Haftarah, in page 1171. ויהי כי קרוא מלך ישראל את הספר, he reads the message from the king that says, hey, I'm sending you my general Purim, ויקרא בגדיו, ויאמר האלוקים אני להעמיד ולהחיות. He thought that the king wants him. So he says, I'm not God, וזה שולח אליי לאסוף איש מצרעתו. So the Jewish king understood that the king of Aram is basically looking for an excuse to start a war. ויהי כשמוע אלישע איש האלוקים כי קרא מלך ישראל, who was unfortunately an idol worshiper, את בגדיו, וישלח אל המלך לאמור, למה קרעת בגדיך? Why are you so afraid? יבוא נא אליי, send him to me, וידע כי יש נביא בישראל, I would show him if God exists and Navi has a power. Okay, you know the story, but that's it because guys, we're becoming mature every year. This is day-to-day life. ויבוא נעמן בסוסיו, ויבוא נעמן בסוסיו וברכבו, עסקה מגודרת, with his entourage, ויעמוד פתח הבית לאלישע. He expects, being the general, that the prophet will come out and make a big deal about him. וישלח אליו אלישע מלאך לאמור, אלישע sent him a messenger, הלוך ורחצת 7 פעמים בירדן. Here you see that this is not the מצורע of פרשת מצורע. Basically he's performing a miracle to remove a life disease. וישוב בשרך לך בטהר. As the next psukim are we. Remember, these prakim are written for us. ויקצוף נעמן, he gets upset. וילך is on his way back. ויאמר, says the מרבים, הנה אמרתי, I believe, אלי יצא, the prophet will come out, ועמד, וקרא בשם השם, is going to do the voodoo stuff that the Babas do, וקרא בשם השם, והניף ידיו אל המקום, and he's going to touch me, and I would be cured. ויפן וילך בחמה, he's upset also. I traveled from the north to here. This is us, me. ויקשו עבדיו וידברו עליו, ולא תעשה. אבי, דבר גדול הנביא דיבר אליך. הלא תעשה. I mean, you travel. He is a miracle man, he's a prophet. Right. So remember, he's convinced by his servants or advisors. וילך ויטבול בירדן 7 פעמים כדבר איש האלוקים, he dipped in the Jordan River 7 times. וישב בשרו כבשר נהר קטון. You imagine his skin became so clear, like the skin of a young kid. ויטהר. וישב אלישע האלוקים ובכל מחנהו, ויבוא ויעמוד לפניו. Now he's coming. ויאמר, now he's facing the prophet. הננה ידעתי, כי אין אלוקים בכל הארץ כי בישראל. I admit, this is it. It's clear that the Jewish religion, the Jewish God, ואתה, קח נא ברכה, please accept a gift from me. ויאמר, and he swears, I'm not taking anything. ויאמר נעמן ולו, look at the time, a small gift, the answer is no. Again, the rest is a halachic question. He's telling him, I'm not going to worship idols anymore, except when I come back to the master, and yes, Torino, fine, Elisha told him, fine. When you're doing it under duress, you're not obligated to give your life, fine. Now here's the question, listen carefully. The question is, everyone that stood there, David, saw it, yes? Saw the prophet telling, how come he's the only one that makes this declaration?
So, it happened to him?
Skin of the game.
The answer is very often in life you see miracles in front of your nose to him, not to us. I mean, this is the point of Perashat Metzorah. We love to listen to stories. Did this story ever change us? If it happened to him, it's good to a story. I can eat my breakfast better today because I heard such a story. Yes. We love to. This is a life lesson. If you take what goes on in Israel, yes, sometimes you talk to people. And you do see many that became, I'm not talking not religious, became religious. People became much more serious about religion because what they see around. We don't know yet what goes on, yes? Understand the danger looming from Iran or what would be in the next few months, no one knows. Nevertheless, Hashem is speaking to us. So the Tehillim we don't say anymore. The Mishnah Berach of the Lava is good because we can finish Tehillim or whatever you say, yes? Go to the Vatican to see what Tehillim is about, yes? Pasuk, the Pasuk, every day, 3 chapters. The Mishnah Berach is Mi, Sheberach, Avotenu, you have to see it. We don't believe in prayers. We don't believe in prayers, of course we do. Let them fight. We are saying, Amen. This is what goes on is a reminder.
Rabbi,
Yes.
what's the significance that the 7 dipping? Why 7?
This way for the rabbis talks to that issue. I mean, unless someone very serious says anything, there's no point of saying. Number 7 is something, so anyway, Shabbat Shalom. Larry, I'm not sure if I'm learning today with him. I left him a message that we should learn today. So, because we couldn't learn Sunday, but I'm traveling to Lakewood. Do me a favor, leave me a message in the house if I can.
Thank you, Rabbi. Shabbat Shalom.
Wait a minute,
If I can call him up and learn on Zoom from the car. The boy is driving anyway.
about what time? About what?
Oh, so I'm not sure. Look, I'm finishing teaching at 1:30. I have to come home. So it'll be around 2:30, or I would leave him a message as I get home when I'm going to call him. Okay? So it should be around 2:33.
Is Devorah in the house now?
Yeah, but call it a little later, okay?
Oh, actually, I'm gonna call a little. What?
Anyway, I got an envelope from you last night.
Stop. Have a good Shabbos. New next.
Thank you very much.
Next.
Shabbos, Rabbi Prague. Have a good Shabbos.
Oh, Yaakov, good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos.
You look good, Yaakov.
Thank you.
Stay good, stay strong.
Rabbi,
Thank you.
Rabbi,
Okay, good Shabbos.
Yeah, the Rambam Tahara goes back. Yeah. You have to read the other Rambam.
Yes.
Okay. Next week,